In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now, the world premiere. Goosebumps. You will beware. You're in for a scare.
Welcome to the Boo Shakalaka podcast. I am your host, Tiffany. This is my first time being on camera at the request of Pierre. I am so very upset about this, and I hope you guys enjoy it because I don't know if I'll ever do this again. I'm lying. I'll probably do it every week. It doesn't matter to me. Pierre, how was your day? How you doing?
I am Cornholio. I'm a gringo. I have no bunghole. Bungholio.
I thought he needed TP for his bunghole.
You gotta watch Do America.
No. I don't want to watch it. Well, anywho, we are here for episode 8 of Goosebumps on Hulu called You Can't Scare Me. And what does the census say? Were you scared?
Can't see here. Seats taken. Least terrifying episode. But, you know, whatever floats their boat.
It was really cold.
It was really snowy, which was a huge plot point in the episode. And we start with the kids falling through pages, and of course Nathan tries to save them by fighting himself. It was funny.
It reminded me of the Nutty Professor when he was like, "Give it up, buddy, it's over. It ain't over till the fat professor says." You featherweight. I can't remember any other ones, but one of the funniest movies ever.
I know he said Tinkerbell.
Tinkerbell.
And this guy sees him fighting with himself, and he just, he's very shocked and awed and doesn't call the police. I thought it was funny that Nathan called, not Nathan, Biddle called Nathan a nerd, and I was like, what the hell are you?
What are you talking about? He's cool. He's cool. He was in the photo club.
Oh, yeah, he had all his friends. Because he won a talent show. And so in the midst of, the notebook still, coming apart and everything, the kids start confessing secrets to each other. And so Isabella's like, I am so sorry for trolling you guys. Fucking ass. Talking about I wiped my ass with your dad's face.
Yo, they are contradicting themselves so bad. How is he, really into hygiene, but he wiping his ass with a towel? Now, Margot's dad has tissue in that house.
You couldn't just ask what the tissue paper was? It's shit like that. But the big kicker, and then Margot says, I don't know what, her confession was stupid. I'm going to skip it. And then Isaiah begins to make his confession. He's like, hey, Margot. And then, of course, they fall through the ceiling again, and they end up on another page. Mm-hmm. So he doesn't get to confess, and James is like, you're going to finish? He's like, the moment's passed. And, bye, bruv. Anyway, the moment's passed. You're still dying in there.
Right.
But also, so Biddle's parents appear, and they're all, fucked up. And they're like, hey,
oh.
Watch it flow. It's time for the Romeo show. Holla, Romeo show now. Romeo show now. Stop what you're doing, because it's Romeo show now. And they're like, we didn't watch that show. No one did. And so, so Nathan's parents are basically like, tell Nathan we forgive him. We're waiting to cross over for him. So just tell him we forgive him. We love him. Tell him he's still our hair bear. And so that's supposed to be the Batman versus Superman Martha moment. Like, Martha, where did you find out that name? So, he's their hair bear. And so Nathan manages to get control by taking his hand out of his crotch and drawing a door. And so the kids jump out and they escape and they're out of the scrapbook. So they lived to fight another day. And so they leave the Biddle house and they're like, we have to go. We have to find him. And they run out. And Isabella gets on my nerves. Anywho.
We see Nora. We skip to, at this point, Nora is driving along in her automobile. Her baby beside me at the wheel. And she's driving so slow. And that makeup still looks amazing.
It's snowing.
It was little flurries. It was not full on snowing by the time that we saw Nora. So, she's driving and she makes it up to her cabin. We see a sign that says really bad storms coming tonight. arriving in 2 to 3 hours, whatever. She makes it up to her cabin, and then she gets a knock on the door.
Well,
and it's the most...
First.
Huh?
I thought it was weird. Why was she getting changed?
Oh, she had to set a little fire. She had to make it cozy for her and Slappy in the room. And the most annoying cop shows up. I was like, why are y'all padding this? This was a padded episode. Kotex. Always wings overnight. Padded. It was padded to hell.
I called him the Texas Ranger. It was the most awkward exchange I'd ever seen in my life. Because I have a very big issue of when I'm about to close my goddamn door. Can somebody please get the door? Can somebody please get the goddamn door? And somebody stops me. That is, you want to piss me off? Stop me from closing my damn door. And so, he's all like, yeah, I got a wife. And she's like, okay, I don't care. And she tries to close the door. And he's like, hey, can you tell me what that is in your bag over there? And she's like, oh, it's my puppet. She tries to close it again. You got a puppet up here? Like, just unnecessary questions. Sir, if you need to confirm that it's not a dead body, just say that.
I need to check and see what's in that bag. She's like, okay.
Yeah, and then Scrappy and all his body parts.
Whoa, it's bigger than I thought it would be. And I'm like, that's what she said.
And, so, he kisses her goodbye, and he leaves her, and he's just like, be safe, because it's snowing up a big storm. I don't know, he might have invited her to his church. I skipped over the whole part. I was trying to figure out who the actor was, because he looked familiar. And so, this pissed me off even more. So, we leave Nora there. Well, no, we don't leave Nora yet, because then Slappy's like, I thought he'd never leave. And so we figure out that Slappy, even though he's dismembered, is still alive, still talking, and still blinking that ugly-ass eye. Then we go to...
Wait, no, wait. We gotta harp back on that. Because that's so weird. If Slappy was in the shed the whole time, with the ability to talk, why did he never talk to Lucas?
Come on now.
Was there a
four-leaf clover? We have to remember.
Was there a four-leaf clover over the box keeping him from doing this? Like the leprechaun? What was it?
We have to remember she had recently dug him up. So she went to the mine to dig him up and then brought him to her house. So
no, because Lucas found the eye there. Episode 1 or 2. No, she has had him the whole time.
You know what? Slappy said, I'm putting me first. I gotta put me first, Lucius. And so he's not talking to nobody but the Fab Five who killed Biddle. So that will explain that for the writers. And we skip back to the part that pissed me off the most in the episode. So Nathan's going and he's driving on the road and the cop's like, hey, stop, there's snow. And he's like, oh, I'm looking for my friend, you might have seen her. And he's like, oh, let me tell you her address. Let me tell you her business. Let me tell you I saw her change. Let me tell you I jacked off in my rent-a-cop vehicle. Like, it was just very, I didn't know cops did that. Like, you could just give, because anybody can say that. Like, have we not seen enough? Like, he could have been her abuser. Like, hey, I'm looking for, and she's just like, oh, well, I saw her at 212 Pussy Lane. And she...
You know what? Why do they call you Slim? Because you're not that slim. I would have killed her. The daughter should have... You go with your daddy, you heifer.
So,
But wait, he gives all this information. You need to go down this street, hang a right, hang a left, and the address is 123 Main Street. But guess what? I don't know how you're going to get there because you're not going without any chains on your car.
Which, I had to Google that. I didn't know that was the thing. I didn't know that you put... Because I didn't know there were tire chains that you put on your car for snow. I just thought that, I don't know, people in states with snow actually had tires for that shit. Because I know in Texas, everyone acts like you can't drive in snow. And I'm like, I know for a fact I've seen Snow Day. So I know that people drive...
Yeah, if you get specific cars for it, or specific tires, I think it's all-terrain tires, then yes. But he was in a 1973 Plymouth hatchback. The tires were probably the size of a BMX bike. So yeah, he definitely needed those shades. He definitely needed those chains to get to where he was going. He needed some shades too, because it was very bright out there. He should have had some shades on. Nobody's applying sunscreen or anything. Just because it's snowing don't mean that you can't get UV damage. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about at this point.
I'm just like, okay then. So Nora is talking to Slappy, and Slappy's, doing, that common villain thing. It was giving me Chucky this episode. He's like, "You'll never stop me," and she's like, "I'm gonna stop you real good." And so she tells him her plan. She's like, "I'm gonna bury you in the mountains so no one will ever find you." And I'm like, "Well, that's the dumbest fucking plan I've ever heard."
Like, true story.
Why didn't time? It just happens to be snowing today, Nora.
Why didn't she fucking leave him in the mine?
They had already checked the mine, so anywho, we're gonna move past Nora being a dumbass, and so Biddle doesn't go get changed. He just parks his car and he goes through the woods, and somehow he's going to find her address in the snow. I thought that was weird. Unless he just knew where her cabin was, I'm like, how does he know where to go? Because are there street signs in the wood? Like, how do you know where to go? He gave you an address.
Right, he couldn't have, because Harold didn't live in that town long enough to go up to the cabins.
Okay, so?
But the kids arrive, so the kids are driving in Lucas's... No, I'm sorry. The kids are coming up in James's Jeep, and they see...
Hemi.
Whatever. They see Biddle's car on the side of the road, and they pull over. And Lucas is like, "Oh, he must have went on foot." And I'm like, but James's car is fit to do this. This car was made to drive through this snow and get to where you
Why didn't they just drive to the house?
Why are you walking?
The highlight of this scene was actually the text messaging.
Oh,
basically, Isaiah and Margot are texting, and Margot's like, "No, bitch, you cannot have my cootie cat." And he's like, "But why? I want to eat it." And she's like, "No, bitch, because you're ugly and you keep talking British." And in between their texting, Isabella's like, "Y'all text?" And they're like, "Oh no, we ain't texting. We all out. She's a lesbian. I don't like her." And
she likes people that wipes their ass with face towels.
Yeah, which I thought was weird because her and Lucas kissed, and when Isaiah's like, I don't want Lucas coming after me, and she's like, "He's not my boyfriend." This love triangle is so annoying because Isabella, when did you start liking Luke? When did you start liking Isaiah? When did that happen?
She probably always did, but she thought that only Allison was in the way. But now, come to find out, so is
Maybe
Margot.
That's why she don't like her.
Ooh.
That's why she was trolling her, because she's jealous.
But I think if that was the case, she should have did more when she was wearing the haunted mask, because Isaiah was into that ugly face.
Yeah, he was into her dollhouse look.
Welcome to the dollhouse, Danity Kane.
And so yeah, the Biddle gang splits up. So Isaiah, Lucas, and Margot are like, "We're gonna go find Nora," and then James and Isabella are like, "We don't want to get our shoes wet, so we're not gonna go into the snow with you guys. We're gonna just chill here." I want to talk about this conversation that James has with Isabella, because James is messy.
Oh yeah, messy boots.
So Messy Boots was like, "So let me give you a tea, girl. $40." He's like, so this is what it is. Basically, they are, what did he call it? Almost couple. And so they like each other but don't like each other, but they'll never admit it to each other, so they'll never be together. So you should still date Isaiah. And Isabella is such a real motherfucking woman. Because she's like, so I'm just supposed to sit here knowing that he won't her and date her? Miss Independent. And so she says that, if he wanted, he should have put a ring on it. And then their parents pull up. Their parents pull up in vehicles, and Isabella's mom hugs her, and I'm just like, where'd this come from?
Hey.
And they're like, "Hi kids, we love you, but we have to go find them. Where are they at?" And they're like, they went to go find Nora because they're trying to find Slappy. And they're like, "You know about Slappy?" And like, "We know everything. Y'all are stupid. Y'all are very stupid, and you're bad at keeping secrets because you're suspicious to everyone who asks." And so they all go, and they go into the woods as well. So
they're all still walking.
Nora steps out of her cabin, and Nathan is outside licking his lips. And so they lock eyes, and it's like Kill Bill. And so they stare at each other. And so Nora heads for the car, and Nathan chases after her. Mind you, they're running in snow, but Nora is incredibly slow. So she gets in her car, and Nathan's trying to get in, and he gains super strength. So he turns into the Hulk due to gamma radiation, and he busts her window and like tries to snatch her out the car. So she, she whip it, whir. So she was riding dirty, and she threw him off the car, injuring his leg. But her car is a putt-putt. So suddenly the car can't start. And I'm just like, why don't y'all get y'all car service? Go get that oil change. Go make sure those fan belts are working. If the fan belt don't work, the car don't work. So that ladies, oil,
you need
fan belts.
You need your alternator before to go to work. But wait, this episode, that chase scene between Nathan and Nora lasted at least 12 minutes.
Very long chase scene.
This episode should have been titled Hide and Seek.
Ooh, that would have been good.
All we were doing was hiding and seeking. And I don't know, it just...
Why couldn't she outrun him with his leg injured? Nora gets out the car because it's the putt-putt, and she decides to go on foot. Nathan is like literally 2 steps behind her.
Right.
limping, and she just cannot make it through the snow. Maybe it's because she's carrying the doll. I don't know. It pissed me off. Because I'm like, girl, you are so worthless. So, she is not Helen Shivers from I Know What You Did Last Summer. So, we keep splitting between Lucas, Isaiah, and Margot trying to find Nora. And Nora running from Biddle, and Biddle screaming weird shit at her. So, somehow, he keeps catching up to her, which kept pissing me off. And every time he catches up to her, they're like, no, it's uncut. And so they keep...
They tussle real quick.
They tussle a lot. But she keeps managing to get away. And so, while the triplets are looking for Nora, they go to the cabin, they reach the cabin, they were like, oh, she's gone. Isaiah turns around, and he's like, hey, bruv, it looks like she's through those trees. And so that's when I don't know how he knew that. That's why I had to say that, because how did he know that they went that way? Was he looking at the footprints?
I think that might be where the car was abandoned.
Okay, we'll go with that. He turns page and notes. Because,
come on, here's the dumb part. They're Margot, Lucas, and Isaiah are walking.
Literally.
Lucas is like, Mom! Margot is like, Nora! And Isaiah is like, I guess I'll just jump off this fucking cliff.
Like, where did that come from? Like, literally tumbles.
They could have had, like, a gust of wind, something. Nothing happened. He just, I said, wait, what the fuck is going on? And then, like, he's just hanging over the side of the damn mountain, like, when Stefano DiMera hung John up by his arm. Like, what are we doing here? Why? Don't do that. You know, he was down there for like 20-something days, just like this. Hold on, like this.
I would have just said that it was like a Scar and Mufasa moment. And so he's hanging on, and he's screaming for Lucas and Margot, and Lucas and Margot are like, I don't care, colored folk. And so they just keep going. Like, I would have felt so helpless in that situation. So Isaiah has been left for dead, and so Nora's running, and she's running, and then she does that dumb ass thing where she turns around and she's like, and she hears, Mom, I'm looking for you. It's clearly she doesn't know what her son sounds like. She's like, Lucas, you're here? Like, why the fuck?
No, wait. Here? Slappy is a ventriloquist dummy. He can throw his voice.
Oh, okay, that's how we'll explain it.
He's alive. He is alive. Yes, this is how we're going to explain it.
She turns around and she's like, she starts walking towards the shadowy figure in the dark. And so when she gets close enough, it's Nathan. And he's like, I guess you don't know your son, you bad mom. And so he runs after her again. His leg is injured. He is limping. So even though he is limping, he manages to catch up with her. And then he stabs her in the tit and rips out her silicone. Oh, sorry, wrong show. And so they get to tussling again, and he actually knocks Nora off. I wouldn't call it a cliff. I call it a peak. A hill, if you will.
I was like, thank God. I'm so tired of them chasing each other. Thank God. Knock her out.
And so she is left for dead.
What a slow ass.
And so he pulls out, I was about to say Scrappy. He pulls out Slappy, and he's like, I miss you, old friend. And so he puts Slappy's eye back in, and he puts them together like Tiffany did Chucky. And and he says the magical words, Are, Due, Dambula. And he has his jaw back. So at this point, Isaiah realizes that he is Kunta Kinte in all this. And so he has his Rocky moment where he's like, my arm's been broken since episode 1. The bone was ripped out. And I've been using this arm actively, so it has not healed properly. So I'll now take it out of the sling and use it to pull myself up from this cliff. And so the Rocky music starts playing, and he just... And he gets to the edge of the cliff, and who's standing there? It's Chucky.
Slappy.
He looked like Chucky, because I was like, why is he sitting down? Like, he was already sitting down. Like,
Slappy is, like, literally trying to convince him to toss Isaiah off the mountain like they did Chucky in Child's Play 3.
And it becomes this moment reminds me of The Good Son with Macaulay Culkin and Elijah Woods.
No.
When
Mom had to choose.
Mom, I love you.
Okay, Mr. Highway. Do you know some idiots actually did like a Mr. Highway type of thing, but they were throwing rocks off of a bridge and they ended up killing somebody? And
yeah.
They went to jail for life.
Yep, I remember that.
What they deserve.
Like, excuse me? Is that really what he was called, Mr. Highway, please?
Yeah, he was called... That movie was so wrong in so many ways. But anywho, the parents show up, or the kids show up with Nora. So Lucas, Nora, and Margot, and they're like, let him go. And Nora's like, the doll made you evil. And Nathan's like, no, you made me evil, you fucking bitch. And she's like, no, it was the doll. Can't you see? And Isaiah is still fucking struggling while they are talking. Like, at this point, just go over there and try to... Nathan can't take all y'all out. Y'all really want to help him?
Can't do anything. Okay. So the other parents come up too. So now it's everyone. It's the kids. It's the parents. It's the gang. It's the Scooby Gang. It's the Avengers. It's everybody. And so this pisses me off the most. The only people talking are Sarah and Margot. The only people talking are Sarah, Margot, and Nora. Isaiah's fucking dad, who is how tall did you say it was last episode? 7 foot?
6'3".
Stands there and does nothing.
But that's my son.
He does nothing. He don't charge him. He don't say motherfucker. He don't say get away. He just... He's so
stoic.
He's just like, brr, it's cold in here. I guess there must be some toros in that atmosphere. So I was just like, what a sorry motherfucker. Like, and so we have our come to Jesus moment, and Margot's like, hey, you, Hair Bear. And he's like,
he was acting like fucking when they called Rumpelstiltskin's name out at the end. How do you know my name? How do you know my name?
She's like, Hair Bear, your parents told us that they're still waiting for you. Don't cross over like Casper.
Can I keep you?
You're not going to cross over? All ghosts have unfinished business. That's why they don't cross over. Unfinished business? I have no unfinished business. I have my treasure, my mansion. I have everything. I'm just perfect. And so,
and then you died. For real.
And so, Slappy decides, he's like, no, don't listen to them. Eric, get away from her. And so...
Get away from her!
And so, Biddle, he helps Isaiah up, finally. Mind you, he does it by himself. No one else helps. Again, why are they there? I'm just like, so y'all just gonna say it? Okay, so he helps Isaiah up in there, and so he goes over and he rolls up on Sarah. And Sarah's like, West love, got to do it. It's about us, it's about trust, babe. West love. And so
slow down, baby.
The curse is broken, and so he sheds his ghostly.
He sheds his Avengers powder.
Oh yeah, he sheds his Avenger ash, and we see him with his All American Rejects haircut, which wasn't any better. And so he's just like, oh damn, Sarah, I wish I could have screwed you. And she's like, well, I kept it wet for you, but you didn't want it. And so
she looked at Margot, and she's like, that could have been your daddy.
Yeah. And so he goes, and his ghostly parents are there, and they don't look like puppets anymore. I am actually kind of sad. That actually made me sad, because I was like, oh, wow, you really did kill them. Like, you didn't trap them in wood. Like, you literally just killed them. And so they somehow get to go to heaven after all he's done. He don't explain. We don't get an explanation on the magical items that he had. We don't get an explanation on just about any damn thing. He don't say anything. He don't be like, hey, y'all might want to watch out for this, this, and this. He just, well, I'm sorry. I'm moving ahead of myself. Oh, no, I'm not. And the Slappy is thrown off the cliff.
Like
Bill realizes
Chucky in Child's Play 3. But the only thing is, where they fucked up, there was no big industrial fan underneath. So y'all ain't do nothing. He has been in pieces this whole time.
Exactly. I'm like, you thought that was going to kill him? It's a wooden fucking doll. And you're just dropping him on snow. Again, Washington, what does your education system look like? Because I couldn't understand. Anyway, Biddle crosses over. He goes to heaven even after all that he's done. He literally killed people. And so everyone's like, we're glad this is finally over. Yeah, we did the right thing by killing him. And so they all just walk away into the abyss. I'm guessing, mind you, that cabin's small as hell. I'm guessing they're going to go back to the cabin. I made a comment about how she could afford a cabin. Seeing as how small it was, I didn't see no kitchen, I didn't see no bathroom, I didn't see no bedroom. It seems like it's just a log cabin, like a casita, if you will.
The Oregon Trail type of cabin.
Yeah, so they just go off into the abyss, and then the episode ends.
Well, no, it doesn't end just yet, because real Nathan is finally back in his body. So the kids did actually go and save him. I didn't think that they would, but they did actually come back for him. The parents end up apologizing to Nora, for not believing her. That's about it. And then we see Slappy down in the banks of the Hanky Panky, where the bullfrogs jump from bank to bank. I don't know the rest, but he laying down in the snow. Oh my God, not again. He's laying down in the snow, about to take him a little nap, and he just blinks his eye, and then it ends.
He also says, what did he say?
So they showed so after the episode ended, they showed a next time on Goosebumps. I'm like, bitch, get it together. You acting like this podcast where you do something different every week. And Slappy, we see like scenes going on, and then you see Slappy say, "What took you so long?" So it's like, who the fuck done went down here and got Slappy about the? Who do you think? Let's.
Colin.
Ooh, Colin. Yes.
Who's the only other person who knows? It's either Allison. It's Allison's bitch ass.
I don't think she's coming back. It needs to be fucking Isaiah's mom. That would just be amazing, because what happened to the lady?
Again, continuation, please.
What that lady at?
They just introduced us to. I really thought we were gonna get a whole show, and then they're like, we didn't really like these characters. They're scabs. They wanted to work during the strike, so we removed them. So yeah, a little bit confused. We have 2 episodes left, though. We have episode 9 and the finale, which actually airs this week.
But you'll get it some other time, so just be patient. Just be patient. This is going to make the episode much better for you to enjoy. So yeah, that was it. That was episode 8. You Can't Scare Me. I give episode 8 6.5 out of 10.
I'll give it a 7. I'll give it a 7. You can't scare me. You're damn right you couldn't, because there was nothing scary about this episode. No jump scares, no nothing.
They had one jump scare when Isaiah was trying to get off of the cliff, and then boom, Slappy jumped up.
That just...
That was it.
That part is hilarious. Because why was he just sitting down with... Nathan had to literally... He had to have put him down in that position and wait for Isaiah to climb up. And, the whole idea of it is just petty to me.
I agree.
Yeah.
So,
episode...
episode 9 is called Night of the Living Dummy Part 2. So, Slappy is going to be back with the vengeance. Maybe he'll come back with stitching in his face like Chucky on Bride of Chucky. I'm not quite sure. I would love to see it. But yeah, so that'll do it for episode 8. This is our first time recording via person. Yeah, if it sucks, it sucks. But now you know what we look like, so you can go ahead and send all your fan mail to me. Thank you.
Yeah, and HelloFresh, you know.
So be sure to follow us on Twitter X at BooShakalakaPod. We are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and now on YouTube. So we will see you next time for Night of the Living Dummy Part 2. Deuces.
Ball sweat. Ain't this liquor?
Behemoth.
That's a huge bitch.
That is.